Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the B-Leaguers podcast. We're back. It's the B-Leaguers podcast brought to you by the Koyo Store. Head to thekoyostore.com/B-Leaguers and use our promo code, all caps, B-Leaguers for 5% off your order. It helps you out. It helps us out. Save some money. Get some cool shit. We're back. It's the week of May 12th is the day of today. I'm really hungover, as I posted on Reddit yesterday. It was my going away party saying, get the fuck out of Poland, Flynn. We're still here till Thursday until we fly out to Milan, and then I'm going back to Canada right after Milan. You're going back to the States right after Milan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you think I want to sit here?
Exactly.
If you're from Poland, I'm sorry, but this country is just not the best comparative-wise. Like, you guys just don't have anything open on Sunday. I need that because I'm lazy. Yeah. Sunday's usually my let's get shit done day. I can't get shit done when nothing is open, so
it's tough. It's a transition, that's for sure. So we're back. Relegations have happened last week, or the week that just transpired. Next week we're in Milan.
Hey.
We fly out Thursday, so we're 4 days removed from being in Milan for the Season 9 finals. Stokes and I are obviously casting that together, and that'll be a good time. We already know what games we're casting, but I kind of want to leave that as a surprise for the audience.
The world may never know what we're going to cast. I mean, if they listen to the podcast, they're probably going to like, it's pretty predictable, but it's whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty predictable. But anyway, we're jumping in with relegations. It was a crazy week with a lot of upsets, a lot of new teams coming in, a lot of teams leaving as well. Some old returning pro teams, some very new, fresh faces, and a lot of drama surrounding all the teams. So I guess, fuck it. If we're gonna go full send on this, let's start with the most drama-fueled region, which was North America.
It always is. We're a bunch of drama queens.
Exactly. So North America, if anyone missed the game, spoiler alert. Although if you have a Twitter account or a Reddit account, I don't know how you would have missed this. But Rise Nation was relegated out. 92 Dream Team defeated the Susquehanna Sonics in the first game, so they got the auto promotion. And then the Sonics beat Rise Nation in the relegation game for the 7 versus 2 seed game. So that means Rise Nation is relegated, and that was not an outcome that any of us really saw coming.
I knew that the only way 92 was going to get in was beating the Sonics, because I knew that Rise was going to know how to counter them a lot better, because Sonics has always been stuck in a very rigid play style. You know, they've always been very structured, and Super even said in his interview, it's very hard when you're a structured team to try and play against unpredictability, and they struggled with that, and that's why 92 beat them, because they just play this off-the-handle play style that works out really well for them. I would go as far as to say they're more off-the-handle than Reciprocity is. They just legitimately throw anything at the wall and hope it sticks, but 9 times out of 10, especially in the playoffs, it worked out for them, and that's what got them into Pro League. So, the Susquehanna Sonics versus Rise is more or less, okay, who can be more strategic, and Susquehanna just walked away with it, really. I mean, second map was a lot closer. Actually, no, excuse me, both of the maps were a walk. I'm thinking about the first set.
It was a 2-0.
So, yeah, both of the maps were a walk. Oregon was an absolute walk for the Susquehanna Sonics. So Rise Nation just coming out flat. It was not the team that we saw from the second half of the season, and they ended up getting punished. You only play... I'm trying to remember what the saying is right now. I just woke up. My gosh. You're only as good as your last play. There we are. So, that was the last play, and it turned out to be shit. So
That was a lot of build-up for a really big letdown of a fucking analogy.
I apologize. I'm only halfway through this Red Bull.
True.
I'm trying my best here.
So yeah, there's a recap on what the fuck went down with the games, and now obviously we got to talk about the impact that this is going to have. So I think a lot of people have already started theory crafting where certain members of certain teams are going to end up, and honestly, we went on a fucking bit of a rabbit hole last episode about that, and I don't feel too inclined to do it again, but we'll float some things out there. Man, I don't have a lot of faith in 92, though, to be able to compete in Pro League.
I don't either. I think they need to make some roster changes, and they need at least a touch of structure. Like, I'm not saying completely deviate away from what got you here, but you need to bring in something or someone. Maybe it is Thomas. Maybe that's helping them out a lot. Because, I mean, they have looked like a lot different team. They've seemed to be playing more team play, really. Because it used to just be, okay, some guy just legitimately enters a building somewhere and tries to kill people. That's really it. You know, it seems that Thomas has really brought them back to, okay, utility first, then we kill people. Okay, boys? That's what we're doing. So maybe Thomas is just, you know, that prophet that's going to come in here and help them out to be a team that actually plays well. But again, we're going to have to see. I mean, they got invited to the Vegas Minor, so you guys are going to see them there. I mean, I don't really. I want to see what org picks them up. To be completely honest, that's what I'm really ready for, to see what happens with that whole thing, especially with and I hate to bring it up, but all the controversy surrounding the team. If you guys want to go Google it, then you can. We're going to leave it at that. Also, I saw that question later for the Q&A. We're not going to be answering that. If you care, it happened like a year and a half ago. You can go Google it. So that's it.
I was going to touch on it, but okay.
Oh yeah, then touch on it. I don't care. I mean, I just usually we're one to be like, I'm going to stay away from it. But,
no,
I mean,
I'll drive head first into that one.
Okay.
If you don't want to comment, then go ahead.
I'll comment on it then. Usually you're the one that's like, Stokes, don't do this. I was like, okay, if Flynn's probably not going to talk about it. Okay, let's talk about it. I'm down.
I'm more than happy to talk
about it.
All right,
let's fucking do it.
We'll get to it in the Q&A.
Square up, bitch.
We'll get to it in the Q&A.
Okay. We're blue balling you guys.
There you go.
You're welcome.
As far as 92 goes, I think there are a couple of spots on the roster that I think could definitely be improved with roster changes. You know, we talk about, you know, how many, you know, good players, you know, I went on a fucking tirade about it last episode and how there's no spots. A few spots just fucking opened up. Because I was not expecting this outcome at all. So, and I don't think a lot of people were either. It's also just fucking heartbreaking for Rise.
Oh, yeah.
They looked so much better with the roster changes. And I'm not saying they would have been able to like
be a top
take
team.
not take a number one spot like off rip. Like give them a bit of time and maybe another roster mover here and there, and you're competing. You're contending inside North America. For Rise to be relegated now, I mean, you really got to wonder, does the rest of the team stick together? Because I think everyone right now is quite sure that Hyper's gone.
Oh, absolutely.
And there's been no public confirmation on that, but, I mean, let's be honest, he was literally the best player in North America.
On the worst team.
Hard to do.
Yeah.
Very, very hard to do.
Especially in his role. Because you guys got to remember, I mean, as much as everybody already loves to stroke the dick of every single entry fragger, it's a very hard job to do when your team is unstructured because you have no information to play off of. The only other person that gets praised for doing that kind of stuff is Kanto, because they literally are like, hey, Kanto, can you just go this place and kill people? And he's like, okay, I'm going to self-drone, I'm going to find the person, and I'm going to kill him. Instead of, you know, going the very easy route of going, okay, it's a one-step process. Somebody puts a drone in front of me and I shoot people. We have to do a three-step process, and I have to do it all on my own, and I have to rely on that guy not moving when I drone him and me getting there and predicting where he moved, you know? So it's a very hard job to do inside of Siege, and Hyper's someone that can do it, so...
And, I mean, you also got to look at his role and think, how does Hyper put up numbers that literally eclipse everyone else in North America as a fragger, and they still lost almost every game of the first half?
What was that? It was this latter half game where he dropped 17 and they still lost.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that was like the third to last week. What would it be?
I would have been casting it. I just don't remember what game it was because that whole fucking month is a blur.
Yeah.
Yeah, for Hyper to be able to put up those kind of numbers and the team to still lose is quite fucking miraculous. So you really got to think on a more competitive team that he's going to show out. And it's not like we didn't see this coming. We all saw this coming. It's just not the way we all predicted it to go. And I mean that in terms of Hyper being a good player, not in the terms of Rise falling apart. And I mean, the rest of the team could stick together in CL. I mean, they have an org. They're getting money.
Mm-hmm.
They won't be getting as much money, but they'll be getting money.
Yeah, especially with all the prize pool buffs. So
yeah, and that's the next thing I guess we should really talk about. really brings everything together as far as these conversations about relegations and teams and stuff is the prize pools have now been adjusted and increased for basically everything. Pro League, Challenger League, anything you can possibly think of. The prize pools have been adjusted, so that includes like majors, Pro League finals, the Pro League season, the CL playoffs, and then the CL regular season as well. So all of those prize pools have been increased for every single region now, which is really nice. It's not earth-shattering money, but it's a hell of a lot more than what it was.
Big difference.
It's a big difference. For Challenger League, it was like a 300% increase, and for Pro League, it was like a 150% increase. I'm trying to remember percentages off of Parker's tweet, who got it from a Reddit comment. So it's a bit of a tough one to riff those numbers off the top of my head. But for all of this, it now incentivizes teams to stick around a lot more. The problem I see is that you're still going to have a lot of Pro League players who eventually get dropped to Challenger League, who will then get offers. And that starts to pick away at the team. And then does the org still want to invest in that team without the star players that were on it, you know?
Yeah. And that's a big difference between like traditional sports and esports right now, especially for Rainbow Six, because we have auto relegation. Because with traditional sports, you have college to look at to see, okay, there's new talent coming up. You know, and our team can't lose their spot. So it's more or less, what can we pick up to try and build upon in order to make a better roster? We don't have that. And we're not going to have that for a very, very long time. So until that point, as long as auto relegation's in the mix, it's more or less it's going to be whatever team gets dropped off, then make the adjustment, and players will move back up into where they're supposed to be, especially players like Hyper, for instance. So.
Well, also the problem with traditional, it's not a problem, it's just the difference between traditional sports, at least in North America, and Rainbow Six, is that you have a draft, and you get rewarded for being ass. There's no reward for being ass in Siege. You're just your spot. You're just ass. Like that's what it is, and that's why the draft exists and the draft order exists in all the major sports, because if you're bad, it provides you the best opportunity to pick a good young player that can change your franchise. What are you pointing at me for?
No, I just had a question. Finish your...
Ask the fucking question.
All right, sorry. Anyways, do you think that, like traditional sports, they should move to a point where roster lock is later into the season? To where, you know, if you want to make a roster move because you figure out, you know, okay, this isn't working out, we need a fragger, or we need a flex player, or we need a support right now, then, you know, because right now is a big issue, is like, okay, we have to just hope that this roster doesn't suck for this half of the season. You know what I mean? And maybe, I don't know, maybe I don't think that's the best, because especially comparative, what we're talking about, this comparison, which we bring up like every podcast, which again, apologies to the people that don't like that, but again, it's Big Daddy versus very small pond, you know, so.
I don't know. I don't know if having roster lock, because I mean, you used to see what would happen all the fucking time back in the day. Like, teams would make changes in the middle of the season. Also, I have a million fucking questions about how in the living fuck Thomas was able to join 92 Dream Team. It's not a Pro League roster in the middle of the season.
They cut his contract, probably.
Doesn't matter. He's on an ESL team in Pro League. So how is he allowed to then go to a different ESL team in Challenger League? I like every team in CL made roster moves in like the middle of the season. It seemed like roster lock.
CL doesn't have a roster lock.
That's the thing. Like, why the fuck does CL not have a roster lock? Is my question. What the fuck happened there? Why are rosters only locked in Pro League and not in Challenger League? I'm very confused.
Because there still pretty much is, a big difference in money. So
it's true, don't get me wrong. I mean,
and well, here's also the other thing. If you lock a roster in CL and you go, okay, you can't have any more players.
Yeah.
what happens when one of them gets sick or something? They're just kids at home. Most of them are. You know what I mean?
Same thing in Pro League, man.
Yeah.
If you're sick, you play with a coach. You have a sub on the roster.
That's what I'm saying. Like, most people aren't going to account for that.
Then you're a bad team.
I'm just giving them the benefit of the doubt, Flynn. I'm not saying, God damn it.
The Toronto Maple Leafs have someone who's sick. They don't cancel the game.
Yeah, it's the fucking Maple Leafs. They got like fucking an entire second fucking line. Like,
yeah, and
Jesus Christ. They'll fucking just take the goalie's pads off and be like, all right, you're playing right. Just go do your thing. It's fine.
I don't know. I was so confused by that during the season. Why were teams allowed to make so many changes in the middle of the season for CL? And then
it's a hard thing to keep track of.
Yeah.
Because all it is really, there's no hub to check where that happens. You either just try and look on the ESL page and go, okay, can I find to see when this happened?
Wikipedia tracks it all.
You saw what?
Wikipedia tracks it all.
Oh, that's convenient.
Pull up all the dates. You just can't sort it, which is, if anyone from Wikipedia out there is listening, please let me sort your fucking roster moves. Because here are the transfers, but there's no way to sort.
Oh.
You just witness them, and they're only sorted by date, from newest to oldest. But, yeah, there's no way to change the fucking sorting. I can't sort by league. I can't sort by region. All I got is years here.
What year is it?
Yeah. So, for the love of God, I would very much like to not have to scroll through every roster change ever to get to just some CL transfers in North America. But anyway, returning to the question, I don't think it would do much harm by expanding or just like eliminating roster lock for the first half of the Pro League season. But I also don't see the benefit because we've seen a lot of teams so far that have made changes get slightly better, but it's usually the teams over the long course of time that stick together really improve and actually challenge for a top spot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it took a while for the stream to really like click as a as a group and actually challenge and make it in for a land spot this season. We even saw their performance at SI. Mm-hmm. Not a very good performance. And no. I mean, they were what, 2.5, 3 months removed from their roster changes? Actually, almost 4 months removed from their roster changes. So, I mean, it's, I don't know. I don't really see the benefit, but I also don't see the harm, so why not? Yeah, 92 is going to be a tough team to, I guess, watch in North American Pro League, just because they're probably not going to be able to compete all that well. Unless there's a roster move. The Sonics, on the other hand, a lot of old vets there. A lot of good, promising former pros. I don't know if they can shake the rust off entirely to compete as well, though.
We'll have to see. I don't know. That's the biggest question. So, I don't know. I can't answer it.
You got nothing to add about the Sonics? Nothing else you want to say about them?
Complete honesty, I didn't even know what the question was. That was bullshit until you talked. So, anyways, shit about the Sonics. Again, I just woke up, like, literally, what time is it? I woke up 37 minutes ago.
Well, wake up.
I'm waking up. All right? Anyways, again, I think that their biggest weakness is that they can't play against unpredictability. So they're going to get steamrolled by Rack 92. Anyone that chooses to just try and take that play style against them, because there's a lot of teams that can just switch it. You know what I mean? Okay, we're playing against structure. We can outthink them. Okay, we're playing against just absolute randomness. All right, we can deal with that too. It's more or less really what they bring to the table. What they bring to the table is structure, but they're just not good at competing against anything else that isn't structure. So if they can fill that gap, then I think that the roster is going to be okay. But, I mean, you did just get beat by the 4th seed inside of CL. So what's that going to say when you go up against, like, Reciprocity and Goddess has to face off against her old roster? You know, it's going to be very interesting, to say the least. I don't see them going, as of right now, especially with the most recent play, I don't see them going that deep inside of Pro League at all. I think that they're probably going to be between 6 and 8. I don't see them going any higher than that. I saw a few predictions that people think that Rogue is going to drop off a fucking cliff. But, I mean, we'll have to see, you know, where everything lies. I mean, they still have one of the best fraggers inside of North America on their roster, and the likes of Vertical, but we didn't get to see much of him this season, excuse me. But as for the Susquehanna Sonics, I feel like Neptunes and Avian have really been showing out. Supers kind of came back, Mr. 1.6. I mean, the support play is still decent. I feel like they still need to work on a couple of things. I feel like Goddess in particular is basically on the same 2 ops every single game. She's on Thermite for offense, and then if that gets banned away, she's on Hibana. And then besides that, on defense, she's on Maestro if it's available, or she's on Echo if it's available. And if they're both banned out, I don't even know what she plays. I couldn't tell you, because I don't think I've ever seen both of them banned out at the same time with the Sonics. So, you got to bring a little bit more to the table than that. I think we've talked about that before, especially recently with how Rainbow Six has just progressed. You need to be able to be flexible and bringing something new to the playstyle of your team can definitely help them out. I mean, any player could do that. We've seen it before, even with Goddess when she was on Cloud9. I mean, they had her playing Capitao in one of the CCS games just to see if it worked, and it did. Granted, they lost because Fox cannot play support to save his life, but that's really what I think about it. I think they just need to use the roster's flexibility more. Stop keeping things so rigid. What are you making faces at? Did something just happen?
No, something happened that I missed.
What happened? Did I miss this? What happened? Stop blueballing me. Talk, motherfucker. I hate him so fucking much.
So, Uzumaki decided to put some shit up on Twitter.
Oh, the predictions?
Yeah.
That was one of the predictions I saw.
Yeah.
He put Wreck at 7.
And Rogue at 8.
Yep.
That's tough, dude. He's just getting shredded. Oh, this tweet has just been ratioed to fucking hell.
What's the comments to favorites?
30 replies to 2 retweets to 50 favorites.
Oh no.
That's
Christopher,
rough.
what have you done? Oh no. Yeah, Alex replies and go, keep
the same energy. Yeah. Fucking Christ. That's
just this is not our prediction. This is Uzumaki or Christopher's, which we actually had him on the podcast like 4 episodes ago. All right, so starting from first to last. Dark Zero, Accelerate Gaming.
The fuck? I didn't even catch that.
Space Station Gaming, Evil Geniuses, Sonics, 92 Dream Team, Team Reciprocity, Rogue. Oh, Chris. Chris, my boy.
Oh, that's fucking tough. Yeah. That's wow. I don't even know. I don't want to be mean, but
so
like,
I mean,
shit.
The only thing I'll say that is kind of a saving grace for him is at the very bottom he goes, the 1 and 7 spots will be very close with a 6-point difference between number 1 and number 7. So that means that's a 2-game difference, which is not much at all.
I understand. I
So,
understand that.
You know what's gonna be the funniest fucking thing is if it gets down to like the very end and you and I are going through like the possibilities and we see that as a possibility and we're just like, oh fuck me. Oh no, man.
I mean, they're bold. No. I'll say that much. I mean, there's also not a lot. There's not a lot of there's not a lot of science in predicting this kind of shit, man.
No.
Like, people have tried to predict traditional sports for 100 years and barely come close.
Yeah.
Like, there's...
You can usually predict who's going to be the best. That's it.
Not even, man. And I mean, like, this is... Just shut the fuck up and let me finish my point.
You're such a dick.
You cut me off one more time, I'm going to drown you in my bathtub.
You just didn't know what your Red Bulls because you stole my entire 7-pack cock.
Alright. I mean, I bought you a whole new one to repay you back.
Yeah, I don't know where it went.
What do you mean you don't know where it went?
It wasn't in my apartment anymore. I don't know where it went.
Well, you took it off of my register thing at the grocery store, so I know you left the grocery store with it.
I don't know where it went.
That's not my problem. I paid for it.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying like, it just like fucking disappeared. Went right into the wardrobe to Narnia. I don't fucking know, dude.
So what I was going to say is people...
Oh, you were going to say something? Don't hit me.
Holy fuck. People have been trying to predict traditional sports for like 100 years now. And like Dom Lecision on Twitter for hockey, anyway, has an analytics model that comes like close to, I guess, predicting the NHL sometimes. But man, there are still outliers. And I mean, he even does like a whole comparison of like every popular prediction model out there. Like there's 15 different statistical models that are run thousands and thousands and thousands of times to get the most accurate result based on their model. And like no one comes within like 80% of being right. And I mean, these are incredibly intricate algorithms with just stupid ratings on stupid stats that no one should ever even think about. Like expected Corsi for in high danger zones in between the hash marks per team per period. Like fucking just ridiculously granular stats that no one should ever think about.
But the player would not even know. They'd be like, did you know you do this? And you'd be like, I had no fucking idea. Like,
players, coaches, fans, stats nerds, like fucking nobody thinks of this shit. Like the granularity on this fucking, on these models is ridiculous. But anyway, people try and predict. And no one ever gets it right. We tried to predict at the beginning of the season with no math and just instinct. And we got like 50-50.
Oh, we did decent.
We did okay.
Yeah.
We didn't do great. Like,
did any of us put Rise at the bottom?
Let me go check.
I think one of us put Rise at the bottom. Not to stroke my own dick here, but I think it was me.
I think I put EXG at the bottom.
Yeah, fuck you, Flynn.
Okay.
That's what you get.
I don't even... Oh, season 9 predictions. There we go. I had EXG at the bottom. You had EXG at the bottom.
Fuck me, in my ass.
We both had Rise at 5.
We suck.
Yeah.
You want to go back through this now that we're done with relegations? Just count it down.
We're not remotely done relegations. We still have LATAM and EU. But we're on a different topic.
Oh, no, I'm saying... Okay, yeah, later. Anyways.
Okay. As far as these predictions go, I mean, Uzumaki, if you're out there listening, these are bold. I'm going to bet some hard cash they'll end up being wrong. You do you, man. You do you.
Yeah, just realize that no one wins with predictions. There's always going to be someone that's like, oh, you don't think this team's good? Like, that's just going to happen. But, you know,
I think the 2 spot is bold.
Yeah, the only one, yeah, that's bold. I can see Rogue falling off a cliff. I can see that happening. But Reciprocity at 7, I was like, you realize they almost got second place by like a point, right? Like, what was it? 2 points? 1 point? It doesn't fucking matter. They didn't get there. 3. It was 3 points. It was a game. So by 1 game, like that's. But hey, we got Dark Zero, and that's all I care about.
So my other thing with that is C9 was also near the bottom in season 8, just a season ago, right?
Yeah.
And Rec looked bad in the second half, granted due to role changes, and I imagine they'll be reverting those, even though Skies has still doubled down on this smoke roll thing.
He needs to fucking look, Alex. Listen to me, Alex.
I just think the team's better when he's fragging, or at least in a flex roll.
You're a much better fragger than you are a support player, dude. Like by fucking tenfold.
Well, I mean, this is the same, and I know I'm a million miles away from the microphone. Actually, you finish your thought. I'm grabbing a Red Bull.
You're fine. He's grabbing a Red Bull. If you guys want to sponsor us, just let us know. We like there's an entire table of bodies, and by bodies I mean Red Bull cans on Flynn's table. What are you saying? How many packs is that? 5 times 7, so it's
4 more.
35.
There's 4 more over there, and then another one in the fridge. So that's at least 70 Red Bulls.
Yeah, there's literally just like 70 empty Red Bull cans inside of Flynn's apartment.
Yep. What I was saying...
We should own the company by now.
What I was saying about Skies and Rec and stuff is that, like, on that team, it's hard to be a good support because none of them are traditional support players.
I'd say the only one that's close-ish would be Mark. I don't really know. What did Mark
he was
play
a fragger
before?
a season ago.
I'm trying to remember what he played for Elephant Gang. I don't think he was on frag. I think he was on flex.
No, he's frag.
No, because they had Super and shit.
He was fragging on C9, I know that.
He wasn't fragging on Elephant Gang when he was with Super, because they had Super. It was
support.
just Super in the Ying game. That was
He didn't play support, though.
I can't remember what the fuck he played. Anyways, why does everyone hate being support? It's so easy. Like you just got to get information from people. It's so nice. You know, you basically get to set up your entire team's attack and just be like, hey, kill this guy. It's so nice.
There's an argument to be had for a lot of these predictions. The one of them that I actually think is fucking just batshit is EG at 4. Out of all of the predictions, I'm like, EG at 4? Okay, bold again. I'm impressed the tweet's still up. I'll say that much. It's getting ratioed. All fuck. Yeah, oh, look, someone else replied while we're recording.
Who did?
I don't know. It just went from 30 replies to 31.
Oh, no.
That's the only way I know.
That's because everyone's like, you've got to be trolling. Like,
yeah, EG at 4. Sonics at 5 is bold. There's a lot of bold claims here. A lot of bold claims. But they're predictions. We won't find out for another fucking 6 months, so you do you. I just saw it getting roasted alive on Twitter and thought I'd interject and bring it up.
That was very off cuff, but I'm wearing that jacket. I looked over there, I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, oh wait.
Oh, yeah. It's mine.
I was so confused. Anyways. So, I guess on to LATAM, which is the one
that we... right off.
Yeah, on the one that we're not really going to touch on.
Grueling night, man.
You poor kid.
Oh, fuck me. So, we had to go into the studio early to record that... it's not out yet. Fuck it. Yeah. You'll see it eventually. Not many people listen anyway. We're fine.
They'll see it tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay, then we're good. So we had to go in and record the trailer for the Season 9 finals that day on Wednesday in the middle of the day. So I had to get up early in the morning to get ready to go do that. So I was up at like 10 a.m.
Early. But yeah.
Well, yeah, I went to bed at like 5 a.m. the night before.
It's the same thing for me. Yeah,
woke up at like 10, had to get ready, had to head in at 12, got to the studio for like 12:30. Then we're at the studio from 12:30 until about 4. And then me and Michael fucked off because we were done our thing. But you guys still had to record and stuff.
We had a good time with that.
So me and Michael
are going to be a lot of fun. Anyway.
Me and Michael went off and like got food and did some shopping and just like hung out for like a few more hours. So it was 7 o'clock by the time I got home. Well, the LATAM show starts at 11. I've gotten 5 hours of sleep in the last like day and a half. And so I come back here and I'm like, okay, I'm going to lay down and get like, I don't know, a couple hours of sleep. Can't sleep. So I'm just laying in bed. I finally fall asleep 45 minutes before we have to go. Gassan calls me to wake me up because I'm out cold. And I had to go. So I got 45 minutes of sleep before heading into the studio and 5 hours of sleep after being up for like 15 hours before that. So it was rough already. And then the night wouldn't fucking end. It was an 8.5 hour show for 2 best of 3s.
It's the longest Pro League broadcast, isn't it?
Probably. Yeah. For 2 games. For 2 motherfucking games. 30 billion rehosts. Every game's going to overtime. Both series go 3 maps. Like, I fucking wanted it. It was like I was at SI again in the group stage. I just wanted to die. So we were both exhausted. We were about ready to fucking keel over after like the first game. And the games themselves were just horrendous. Just fucking awful games.
It was just a throw fest. Like, every time I tuned in, it was like, oh, somebody's got man advantage by a lot. Like, 4v2.
And then they suddenly don't.
And then just like, oh, hey, you know what'd be a great idea? Let's all funnel through one door. Isn't that a great idea, guys? Oh, wait, there's a shotgun here. We're all dead. Like, oh my God.
It was a fucking awful series.
That Villa game, dude, I was getting an aneurysm.
I don't even remember that we casted Villa. That's how much of a blur that night is. I don't even remember the maps we casted. I think we did a consulate game. I'm not even sure. Actually, I don't even know if we did did we do an I don't even know. We did an Oregon game?
I think so.
Bet. Cool.
You gotta remember,
good to know.
This is LATAM CL, which we have no information on.
That's the other thing, man. So we go into the studio, and I'm on Wikipedia just trying to do some research when we get there.
Get some idea
of like who the players are, what they play, what they've played before, what their former results are, you know, what their map wins and stuff on the season were. There's no map history for the second half of the regular season. There's just scores. So it doesn't even tell you the records of the teams on the maps for the back half of the season. So I'm like, okay, fuck me, I guess.
Redacted.
Well, I at least wanted to have some information to bring up during map bans and during the games about like what these teams' records were on the maps and stuff. And they also don't play any maps. At least in the recorded maps in the first half of Vlad MCL this season, Team 1 played like 3 maps in 10 games or something. They just cycle through the same fucking maps over and over and over again. They don't have a deep map pool, so it's like you get them on anything abstract and it just becomes a shit show. And that's what fucking Villa became, because neither of them played Villa. And now I remember the Villa game because I'm talking about it, but like, holy shit, that game was a fucking fiasco.
You remember the smoke play then, where they tried to all funnel in through the fucking trophy room door?
Yeah.
They would try to come, like, one guy came statue, gets fucking slammed, and then they're like, oh, there's a guy over in statue, let's just run through the trophy door, and they just got mowed down. I'm like, guys, you do know you can leave the building once you get inside the building, right? Like, you can adjust and go around. Like, all it would take was one person, just one of them, to go outside and go master bedroom, and they win that round. That's all it would have taken. But nope. I was like, dude, who is this IGL and what is this phone number? Like, please, for the love of fucking Christ, man. Oh my God.
Those games were horrendous. But anyway, the results for anyone who cares, it's Red Devils retaining their spot, and it's Team 1 taking the auto promotion, with Payne being auto relegated. So Payne is out, Team 1's in, Red Devils remain. Bada bing, bada boom.
We're still just going to have a game between FaZe and IMT for top in Brazil. Well, possibly Liquid now. Liquid might be showing face again.
That's something we should bring up about LATAM as well. Zig has retired.
Tip of the cap. Little bit of a clap. Moment of silence for our man Zig. Amazing player. If you guys don't know where Zig came from Battlefield. He also has the most followers of any personality inside of Rainbow Six Siege. So he's been here since the very beginning, has a beautiful wife and a beautiful kid, and you'll still see him around. He's still going to be making YouTube content and streaming, but again, you're not really going to be able to understand it unless you speak Portuguese.
I'd imagine, if at all possible, because I know he speaks a limited amount of English, but not the greatest, I'd be interested to see if he'd be open to doing analyst desks.
Honestly, I thought the same thing, because Jenna, being who Jenna is, if you guys don't know who Jenna is legitimately the biggest
Liquid super fan.
Biggest Liquid fan on the planet, to the point now where she's branched out to other areas of Liquid, like she's watching Liquid CS now and everything. So, which is great, because Liquid CS team is really good. I love Stewie. So, besides the point, what was I going to say? I was talking to her about it. She's like, well, he's just not going to be playing anymore. I was like, you're probably still going to see him at events and stuff like that. Like, he's a personality. He has the most followers, again, of any personality inside of Rainbow Six Siege. And Brazil is massive for esports. So if another Sao Paulo happens, or if something's close to Brazil where Brazilian fans are going to show up, I guarantee you see Zig there. I mean, at SI, we even saw the hostess for BR6. Like, she was just there. She wasn't working, nothing. She was just there.
Nivea Estefan was there, and also for Rio, when Liquid didn't qualify, Zig was still there. Liquid was still at the venue in Rio for the finals, even though they weren't playing. And it contributed to bringing out fans and stuff. So I don't think we've seen the last of Zig. We've just seen the last of him playing.
Yeah.
I don't think any team out there is going to... Like, he was abysmal this season. I mean... And it showed.
If anything, it just shows that he knew what was going on, because it wasn't a call from the org, it was a call from him going, look, I'm done. Like, I've got a wife, I've got a kid, I've definitely made this career path to where I don't have to be a player and make money off of that. I can content create, I can do all these other things. Yeah. And, he's good at it,
So Zig retires, so Liquid have a hole in the roster. Don't know what they're going to do as far as
I can tell you right now, it's not going to be Gohan. I saw that on the Reddit.
Yeah, everyone's like, yo, they bring Gohan back. No. How about we don't do that?
That was such a great episode. I had so much fun setting him on fire. Jesus.
Outside of that as well, NIP, two very, very young, influential players in Muzi and Pino. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if the top 4 still remain the top 4. I don't think it's just a battle between IMT and FaZe, but the bottom half of LATAM, once again, looks like an absolute garbage fest.
They should just put their PL to 4 teams and just put everything else to CL. I mean,
yeah, and everyone talks about, expanding to 10 teams per region for Pro League, and I'm like, LATAM and NA are the examples of why you can't.
Yeah.
EU
Ours
is the
a little
example.
Bit tighter, like it's about down to like the 6 margin, like but barely. 7 and 8 is just
like barely. Like, I get it. You're NA, I'm NA. We're supposed to, like, fucking cheerlead for NA. Well, no, the competition is not the same.
I'm saying, like, for instance... No, I understand what you're saying. Comparative to EU...
Exactly.
I completely understand.
EU is the case for why we need 10 teams. Every other region is the case why that's a stupid fucking idea.
Yeah, like, for instance, where you have, like, Trust Gaming, who just got 3rd place inside of EUCL. I mean, they were at LAN taking maps off of G2.
They could play in Pro League.
You know what I mean? Like, that they're a good roster. DPEC is a great player. The people around DPEC are amazing. Like you were saying, like Leonski and Leonski, right?
Yeah, Leonski's still on the team.
Leonski's still on the team. For some reason, I was thinking Snuff was the one who left.
Yeah, Snuff left.
Yeah,
a while ago. Yeah. There are teams there's teams in EU Challenger League right now that could play in Pro League, and they wouldn't be, again, showstoppers, and they wouldn't be, contending for a number 1 spot or anything, but they'd hold their own.
Yeah.
And you're always going to have someone finishing last, and Secret was the evidence of that. And we'll get to EU in a second. But LATAM really is, man, it's top heavy. It's top heavy as fuck.
It's actually ridiculous because the top end teams are so fucking good. You know what I mean? Like, you watch...
They're good in their own region.
Yeah, well... I mean, FaZe can perform outside of the region, not at SI. We do. You and I we're holding them on a very high horse for SI, and did not work out in our favor. I thought
FaZe was going to do a lot better.
I thought they would as well. I mean, the roster showed us before that they can perform at LAN. They just didn't. And we had a conversation earlier on one of the podcasts. We were talking about how they actually have the most LAN experience. Like, Brazilian teams have the most LAN experience of anyone because of BR6. They play on LAN weekly. So... It really hurts my brain when it goes, okay, we're going to LAN.
But it's not about LAN. It's about the meta. They play inside of LATAM, where there's this
weird,
tiny little meta where things are weird, and that's their norm. And then they try and play an international playstyle, and that's what fucks them. Because the LATAM playstyle doesn't work internationally either. It gets picked apart pretty well. I mean, we saw that with FaZe before they were FaZe, when they were Font.
Oh my god!
The LANs they went to, they still played like their LATAM meta on LAN against international teams, and it just did not happen fucking well for them. So for LATAM right now, I mean, the picture remains mostly the same. It depends who slips into Liquid's roster. It depends if NIP's young gunners can really step up and help them contend again, because NIP came close. Much closer than they did last season, that's for goddamn sure.
That is true.
So I'm interested to see what happens with NIP. Black Dragons as well intrigue me, but I think they still have a bit of work to do on the roster. I don't think they're quite there yet, but they put up a good fight this season. So I think we're almost getting to like a top 5 of Pro League teams in LATAM. We're not at 8 yet, that's for goddamn sure. Yeah. Red Devils also look like just the fucking worst team under the sun. So I don't know what's gonna happen there. I would be very, very surprised if VNX still plays for Red Devils next season. And I also wouldn't be very shocked if VNX went to someone like Liquid. So yeah.
We'll have to see. Again, it's like what you said. LATAM's top heavy, and we really don't know what's coming up player wise. I mean. Was it Liquid? No, it was Nip that picked up that guy just out of the blue. And we're like, okay, who the fuck even is this guy? Yeah, so
Muzi in this season and Pino last season. Yeah, and then moving on to EU. Sucks, but hey,
have to pay respects for Team Secret as they are going to dip out and go down to CL. Now, the only good news about that is that Team Secret, the organization, said that they were going to stick with the roster. Now, what that does requires a 3/5 in order to keep that team together. So in order to keep Team Secret, 3/5 of that roster has to stay together. I think it has to be of the original roster, doesn't it?
Has to be the roster that played in Pro League.
Yeah, okay. So that entire roster, any of those 3 people can stick together.
You have to play at least 50% of the Pro League games for it to count. We learned that the hard way with the last Team Secret disband, which was when they were playing Ducks, and they split into Snook and Nose and IDK.
Yep. So...
Or Snook and Nose split, and then it became Chaos and IDK, sorry. So Secret goes down. Mm-hmm. In just heartbreaking fashion. The team didn't perform. It just looked like they weren't ready for the game, man. And that means that we also have Vitality returning.
Bee-boo!
Vitality's back, which I think is good for the scene. Vitality's a very large French org, and...
That means we'll probably get a really badass pilot program skin. Probably. I don't know. But I would definitely be excited for that.
Well, they already had a pilot program skin the first time around.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're going to have... Probably got... I don't know. I saw someone talking about that there might be like a sledge skin to counteract the Thatcher skin. That'd be badass.
They already have one. The Vitality skin is on the L85. As well as the Fnatic skin.
I know, but I'm talking about uniform.
Oh, the uniform?
Yeah, I already knew we had the charm.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, you said skin, so I thought you meant like gun skin.
No, I'm talking about uniform.
Okay, that's a uniform, not a skin.
Apologies. I mean, it's a skin for the uniform.
It's a uniform, you fucking nitwit.
Shut the fuck up. Jesus. No, I did had a gun skin.
And then, why am I blank? Eminem. There we go. I was blanking on their name for a second. But yes, Eminem also advanced.
Do you think they're going to stay with Eminem, or do you think they're going to get a different org? Because obviously, Eminem only has a team that, you know.
It's EU Pro League, man. You could probably make a very damn good case for any org out there to pick them up.
Navi might just go buy them.
Navi picked up fucking Navi, and they got auto-relegated. Like, anything can happen with an org. I don't want to hear that it's out of the realm of possibility. Like, that's...
Again, I go back to, as to the reason why, because Navi, by any means, is not a small org and does not have a small bankroll, excuse me. And so they go with the bottom team inside of EU Pro League.
Well, they weren't bottom at the time. Secret was.
They were 7. But still, I mean, you're in that realm of auto-relegation is completely possible. And all it was a fight right up till the end of who's going to get auto-relegated and who isn't. And
questionable.
Yeah, very, very, very questionable, I would say. But, I mean, maybe it's because they wanted the SI representation and they wanted it to go through before SI, and it didn't. That's the only thing I could really think of. They're like, oh, yo, SI's coming up, Mocket's there. Let's just buy the Mocket roster. We'll have some representation at SI. You know, get our name shown, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And that did not happen. So.
It's possible. It's, I mean, fuck, man. The orgs inside of EUCL right now are ridiculous.
Yeah. They have some of the best orgs in all of esports. I mean, the only thing that they're lacking is like Optic. You know what I mean? So,
well, I wouldn't go that far, but they have decent paying orgs in Challenger League versus, again, you look at other regions, NA, LATAM, APAC, not a thing.
Yeah.
So, it's fuck, man. EU is just so stacked. They're so deep. Mm-hmm. And Secret, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know how many of them are going to get offers to go to different teams, if anyone's making a lot of moves. I was trying to go through the same thing that I went through with NA last episode in my head for EU. I mean, G2, obviously not making moves. Lestream, they're probably feeling pretty comfortable right now, and they went through a couple roster changes once of the each last seasons. That's a weird sentence to try and bring it out of my mouth. Penta... I can't think of anyone off the top of my head who I would specifically drop from Penta, but they might be just looking to change things up.
They need to. I mean, I think that they just need to finally grab that aggressive playstyle by the reins and run with it. I think what's happening right now is that they're trying to be a super structured team, and that's not what they are. They, like what we saw at SI. If you delve into chaos, they just fucking win. Like, Hungary can literally just, like, lay the people the fuck out. You know what I mean? I think that they just need to finally claim that aggressive playstyle, kind of like 92 has going on right now, where they're claiming map control in, like, the first 30 seconds. It isn't a shitload of droning and all that kind of stuff. They got pre-placed drones. They're like, okay, this is what we're taking right off rip, and we're running with it. I think that would actually help them out a lot. I legitimately think that they need a playstyle change, and it will help them out quite a bit. Because, I mean, look at the roster. They have a bunch of people that have very good gun skill. I mean, they've all shown it throughout all of the EU season. Yeah. And they ended up they ended up in the middle of the pack with that more structured-esque play style. I feel like if they push away from that and go, okay, we're just going straight aggression, I think it works out for them. I really think I do. I really think it does. Excuse me.
Yeah, I wasn't disputing that. Like I said, I didn't think of anyone off the top of my head who I would drop. I'm just thinking they
who would
might
you
go
put in
for a
support
change.
for that kind of thing?
I don't fucking know, man.
Again,
there's a lot of versatility with a lot of the players on Penta. Like you could come up with formations for Penta 90 fucking different ways to Sunday. Mouse might be looking for a change after their season. That's another tough one.
Yeah.
Because they're on English comms. Well, yeah, Vitality won't be making changes unless it's for a French player. So,
yeah, I was gonna say
you got to go for French comms, or the whole team has to swap to English comms, and that's probably not happening for Vitality. They've been French throughout their entire existence, even back when they were like Supremacy. They've always remained 100% French. So I wouldn't expect an English player from Secret to get picked up.
Where do you think Leon goes?
That's what I'm trying to do with this right now, is figure out, where the holes are and where Leon might end up. I honestly don't know.
You think he goes to Mouse?
Maybe. Although they have fraggers. They have Gonfi. Like, they don't... Whenever Gonfi's actually playing in his fucking position of fragging, they have a fragger. So I don't know, maybe you just double down on that and drop a support player? I don't know who you would drop.
I mean, we've seen it work.
Yeah. I mean, Wilkie might be the guy to go. He had a bad season.
It sucks to say that.
He does, because he just quit his job to go full-time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he is also the face of that team,
yeah.
which is very tough to drop just from a logistical standpoint.
I don't know. I mean, we've seen it with a lot of people, man. Some people just get inside their own heads when it comes to something like this, and they don't just let it happen naturally. I mean, I've done it with casting. Players do it all the time inside of traditional sports. And
but he's so experienced and been around for so long. I don't think it's nerves, man. I think it's just competition has started to surpass him. And I hate saying that
because... You don't think he can catch up?
Well, I mean, look what just happened with Zig.
That's true.
Incredible player. Set a lot of history milestones.
Yeah. Brought
LATAM on the map. And when his time came, and he retired. There's plenty of other players out there in Siege that have done that. When their time came, the scene passed them and surpassed them in talent. It sucks to say it, but every sport has players who eventually retire because they just can't hang anymore.
Yeah, I think the main thing, especially with Siege, is that everything is forever changing. You know what I mean? It's not like hockey, football, and all these things where there's just, a new formation or something every single season that changes up everything. And, sometimes that makes newer players shine that can deal with all that. And, when especially starting all the way at the beginning, I mean, there's a decent margin of pro players right now that did not start playing this game for a season, Yeah. And honestly, that might have helped them out. It really could have, because, a lot of us remember, okay, if Thermite dies, we just lose. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we can't do anything. If your Thatcher dies, we just lose because we can't get the Banner batteries off, So, I mean, the amount of changes that have happened in this game, and everyone loves to ring on it. I mean, it's moved away from, okay, we're just going to try and kill as many people as possible, and then we'll win the round, to, okay, you have utility bases. Okay, what's our plant spot? Okay, we got to get this set up, so we got flank watch going on with this, and this. And things have just gotten way more complicated. And I feel like that's starting to punish a lot of the old guard players, because it's not like it used to be, where it's just like, okay, things are pretty straightforward, and we walk on the map. If we get the wall open, that's fine. We bomb down. Everything's okay. Glass used to not be able to shoot you through a fucking smoke. So, people just smoke down and plant, and you didn't have a bulletproof camera or an evil eye or anything to see through that. And, things were much simpler in year one. And then we all of a sudden, at the tail end of year one, we get yokai drones. And, actually, Echo, when he first came out, he wasn't even that broken. He only had one yokai. So, and it got completely disabled by EMPs. So you threw the EMP down and you just shot on the floor. You took IQ and just shot on the ceiling, and it was over. You didn't have to worry about two of them, and people were not nearly as good at juggling with yokais as they are now. So, I mean...
No, Echo, when he came out, was a joke. No one played him in Pro League.
The only person that played him was Rams.
What?
Rams. Rams was the only one that played him. He played him at when did Lethal Gaming play was it SI? No. It was a Pro League final.
Oh, you're talking about Xbox, things that don't matter.
Well, that's the only person that ever played like Yokai.
Redeemer was sore, and then them as well.
Yeah, so 2.
There you go.
2 that we can think of.
Echo was a joke when he came out. I'm still trying to think of places Leon could go.
Yeah, I was trying to give you some time while I ranted.
Eminem, I don't know if they'd make any changes, but hey, I mean,
they're pretty confident in their roster.
I mean, he's pretty decent friends with some of them, and I don't fucking know, man.
I mean, the only thing I could see possibly instead of that, if somebody's got an ego, that's it. You know, that's one thing, especially, well, I mean, even in traditional sports, we've seen it, where, might be an amazing player, but if you've got an ego and you can't be worked with, then they're just going to get rid of you because you don't make a good team environment. So
you're gone, dickhead.
Yep. See you later, my guy. And we've seen that with some of the best wide receivers in the NFL ever. So,
in the span of like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
All right. That's the show. Let's move on to the Q&A. That's everything that happened this week. Also, just to touch on the Allied Minor, there are qualifiers going on right now as we record this. The EU bracket is in the semifinals. I'll just bring up the game real quick.
Yeah, while he's doing that, I'm bringing that up. Did you guys know that we're sponsored by the Koyo store? Because I don't think we touched on it at the very beginning. I think we just got right into the show.
I did.
Okay, we'll do a mid read. It's fine. Make sure you guys use the code BLeaguers, spelled just like our name, on the Koyo store to get any of your Rainbow Six or Ubisoft paraphernalia. It includes little statuettes, pins, a bunch of other cool things. So make sure to head over to thekoyostore.com in order to claim any of those items using code BLeaguers. All right, looks like we're got to be back in 33 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah, so I think that means that Lestream won.
Yep. Because
they won the first map, and it looks like Lestream is in the grand final of the EU online qualifier for Allied. The NA quals start in 44 minutes, so we won't have updates on that. So we'll talk about that in 2 weeks when we're back. Because remember, we aren't doing an episode next week because we're in Milan for the finals.
Hey, casting. We get to cast a fucking Pro League final together, dude. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm really not, overly jacked or anything. It's just another thing.
Well, I'm excited. I'm always excited, though.
I don't know.
That's just me.
All right. Let's, Fuck, man. Let's jump into Q&A. I got to pull up this thread. All right. Starting from the top down. It's from Uzumaki. All right. Hey, bud.
Hi, buddy. Sorry we set you on fire earlier, but you kind of needed it.
During the Vegas minor qualifiers, Fultz and Merck were playing in place of Pojo and Schlongi for EXG. Do you think that Pojoman has been moved back to coaching and Schlongi has been dropped? Wouldn't be shocked.
Schlongi's definitely getting dropped. We already talked about that before. If there's anyone on that roster that used to go at Schlongi, he's already proven before that he's non-reliable, and I can definitely see him going away once again. Yeah,
as far as Fultz and Merck, I don't...
They work really well together.
So. They do. EXG, that would make an interesting little conundrum for EXG. Because then you have Crusher as your support breach player. Mm-hmm. And then you have Fultz, Merc, and Achieved all together. That's
scary as fuck.
That's a three-headed monster that I don't exactly want to fuck with.
Dude? Who do you peek? That's the real question. It's not like G2 where you're like, okay, I peeked into Kanto. Kanto killed me when we got the trade. All right, things are okay now. Like we can kind of peek confidently. There's not somebody who's gonna instantly murder me.
Pengu and Jonas.
I mean, I'd peek Pengu. I'm fine with it.
Okay, have fun getting blasted into the stratosphere.
Would you rather pick Kanto or Pengu?
Neither.
I'd rather pick Pengu every day of the week. Every day of the week.
That's a fucking bold claim.
Between him and Kanto, I'm not saying I'm better than Pengu. I'm saying that between those two, I'd much rather have a gunfight with Pengu than Kanto.
I think you're just underrating the shit out of Pengu.
Okay. Alright, I'm gonna leave it alone.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So do I think that Poach has been moved back to coaching? I mean, I don't think he wants to play anymore. I think he wants to coach, but I haven't talked to the man, so I don't know. And as far as dropping Schlongi, like you said, Schlongi's probably dropped. Like, let's just put that out there.
Sucks to be him though. He's been on 2 rosters that have made it to Pro League or been in Pro League, and just underperforming, man.
Sucks to suck, brother. For Fultz and Merck, the duo, maybe. We'll have to wait and see, though. I mean,
they just work so well together, man. Like they have a very good fragging dynamic that you don't see too often. You know, usually you see the one extremely hyper phrasing fragger that is just off on their lonesome doing stuff, and it's their team supporting them to get them those frags. You know what I mean? That's why, like, more often than not, we see Kanto up top because people are getting them that information, and Kanto does a really good job in those gunfights. So we're now seeing a dynamic that doesn't come along too often of 2 players that work really well together on entry fragging together at the same point. They're not coming in from 2 ends of the map. I mean, go back and watch their VODs, especially their game against Rise Nation that was casted on Oregon. They're clearing entire rooms together and just demolishing people. Those 2 between them had I think around 30 kills in on that game against Rise, which is fucking ridiculous. Again, they're going up against the best fragger inside of North America. They're going up against Hyper, and they ended up winning. So, I mean, what else is there really to say?
Could be interesting.
Could be.
But we don't know.
I'd get a Merc jersey.
Would you want to do a full Milan bracket like you did for Invite and track how well you and Sam predict it? Also, how do you feel about 6 to 7 spots open for NACL next season? As far as the first part, we already did our predictions, so go back and listen to those. And I already know mine off the fucking top of my head because I've had to answer it so many times on stream. And then, I don't know, someone will go back and write down yours and we'll compare it when we're done.
I mean, yeah. I'll just tell you them after I already know them.
There you go. So we already know them. We'll compare after Milan. As far as the CL thing for North America, that's funny as hell.
It's times like these where I wish I could just go home, take 3 weeks to not suck at the video game anymore, and then just play for CL because it's a fucking walk with 6 to 7 people open. You just get people that listen and don't suck, and that's it. Like, it's just easy. If you are good in a competitive environment and you have friends that don't make, as Flynn calls them when I say it in ranked, Xbox callouts that call things 4 times in a row because nobody fucking listens, then you're good. Pick up a roster, play. You can probably make it into CL and get your games broadcasted every week, which would be really, really cool.
I mean, it's also just a shit ton of money on the line now.
Yeah, so, exactly.
And a Pro League spot on the line. I mean,
I was just more or less bringing up the whatever. Hey.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of spots
open. Can I cast
open.
and play in CL?
There's going to be a lot of spots open for CL. I think this is going to breed a lot of new teams simply because people are going to take this as another opportunity, and there's already some teams out there that are fully formed that I imagine will be making runs, but I can also see that there's going to be a lot of new teams being formed in this chaos because everyone's going to want to make a run, and there's probably going to be people jumping ship to what they think are better offers. It'll be a bit of a nightmare, and I think the most experienced teams will prevail. I think there's going to be a lot of inexperience as far as players and a lot of inexperience with each other as far as lack of cohesion on these newer formed teams. And I think the more experienced teams will prevail even if they're not necessarily the best on paper. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly.
All right. Flynn, have you bought your ticket back from the U.S. to Poland yet?
Oh, no.
It's only a matter of time before they call you back, so you might want to get in on that early for cheaper flights. Dear Noah, I'm not American, you stupid fuckhead. I'm Canadian. If I bought a ticket from America to Poland, it would be less useful than literally lighting the money on fire. Thank you for my TED Talk. Or coming to my TED Talk, anyway.
God damn it, Noah.
I'm fucking Canadian. God damn it.
Fucking A, buddy.
And that's also not how budgets work. I don't get to buy a plane ticket and they just increase a budget. So, yeah. Hey guys, long time no ask. What players from CL do you think will get picked up by pro teams, and who do you think... who could you see picking them up? We already went through a fucking diatribe for that last episode, so I'm not going through that again.
I'll just do 3. Fultz, Merc, Mo. There. That's it.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything inside of CL where I was like, yo, that support player is just fucking no holds barred. He can hold down a site by himself. I didn't see any of that. You know, like that's the tell of a good support. You have to be able to hold down your team. You have to be able to have weight put on you when your roamers die, and you have to be able to, you know, clutch up. And I mean, it's something you talked about Evil Waffle about. Like, he has that factor. You know what I mean? So that's what makes a good support. I mean, we've even been seeing it in Goddess recently. I mean, she's, especially with that Alda dude, she's been clutching up so many 1vx's. It's been insane. So
you just said there was no support players that stood out to you, and then you mentioned 2.
Well, I don't see Waffle getting picked up by any roster.
I don't think there's a spot open for supports right now. Everyone's very focused on fraggers these days.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's what we always say. I mean, they're the highlight player. You're always going to see that. So,
which is depressing. But anyway,
as a support, and also you as a support inside of comp, I didn't see anything where I was like, that kid's got it. I don't know about you. So
yeah, we've been through this. There's a million different things that could be opening up and closing. I mean, which players from CL? Hyper. There's a player in CL right now that I think will probably get picked up. There you go.
Oh my god.
If you could choose one org to pick up 92 Dream Team, who would it be? Lamau. Get there in a second. Who do you think is the current best team in the world outside of Pro League and Challenger League?
Fours?
Sure. I don't fucking know. There's like Avangard and the Movistar Raiders in EU. There's, like you said, Forza. There's... Fuck, I don't know. Is there anyone in NA that's not in CL?
They all just made roster moves, so I was like, I can't even, like, I've casted some of them on USN. Like, Dream Chasers look pretty decent.
The Altus Police Department?
They're not even a team anymore.
Did they just
They disbanded. Yeah.
Cool.
I can't think of anything inside of CCS.
That's where I went with Altus.
Yeah, I know.
I don't fucking know.
Yeah, that's irrelevant.
It's tough. What are your thoughts on a Siege World Cup where the best players from the top 8 or 16 countries went to LAN and battled out for national pride?
Yes.
So I'm gonna railroad this real quick.
God damn it, Flynn. Why do you have to crush my dreams?
So back when I was doing the Canadian Nationals, our assumption as well back then was like, hey, you know, there's all these national programs popping up because that's when they just announced the Mexican Nationals, and then at SI again there was this announcement about, you know, all the different national programs that are popping up this year. My big problem with it is that with these national programs, you end up either having a lot of teams that just truthfully aren't great, unless you're looking at USN, or you've got teams that are basically just cobbled together like they're pickup teams. So like the Canadian Nationals have been won all 3 times by a team called Team Canada. You know what Team Canada is? A bunch of fucking random pros, ex-pros, CL players that don't play on a team together. They just play ranked. The problem with this World Cup format is that the games won't ever actually be competitive because they're not teams. They're just players playing ranked with each other. Mm-hmm. They're very damn good players. But the reason the All-Star game gets so much shit every time it gets played at a major is because it doesn't fucking matter. The teammates don't know each other and no one takes it seriously. Even if the game meant something, even if there was a lot of money on the line for a World Cup, it would just be ranked. They're not going to scrim together because they have their own teams. They're not going to practice. They're going to play ranked. Is it worth our time? Is, like, if you want to drop the money on it and pay me to go cast it, I'm not going to argue. I'll go do it. I'm just saying, everyone keeps hyping up this World Cup idea, and the competitiveness behind it will be absolute ass.
No, I think this is what they want. What I want is more or less like a FIFA World Cup. Not where, okay, yeah, we just played this entire nationals thing and we got Team USA, woo, it's Rogue, woo, and then they go play in the tournament. That's not what I want. What I want is we have the best of the best that every single country has to offer of every single position, every player, and then they play. They do the exact same thing for soccer. I understand it's a very weird dynamic. I get it.
So here's again where the issue lies.
I know where the issue lies.
They don't practice together.
I know that.
The national teams for soccer do. They practice together and train together. And a lot of them are on the same team as each other in their respective teams. Or they've played together for years and years and years and years growing up. A lot of the kids that play on the U18 and the U16 national teams then go on to play for the men's teams. They've played with each other for years. There's chemistry. You're literally just going to be seeing ranked. You could put the best Canadian players you can think of on one team. I'm not going to list them, but pick 5. It's still going to be ranked. It's going to be a Canadian pro rank stack against an American pro rank stack against a Mexican not pro rank stack. Gio could probably be the pro, but the rest won't be, right? It's not going to be competitive Siege. There won't be strats. There won't be counter-stratting. There won't be history.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I understand.
That's my issue with it.
I know when the rubber hits the road. I understand it. Just
everyone keeps hyping it up.
It's not going to happen because of that exact reason.
No, it probably will happen because they want to dump money into it and advertise the fuck out of it. I'm just saying, don't get your hopes up don't get your hopes up and compare it to like the SI finals because that sure as fuck isn't happening.
I'll take money.
Exactly. If you want to dump money into it and you want to promote the fuck out of it and you want to make it this big spectacle, by all means. But don't go expecting...
I'm not arguing against the paycheck.
Don't go expecting, FIFA World Cup level fucking competition and caliber of play. Or SI finals caliber of play. It's gonna be ranked. It's gonna be a lot of chaos. Even if there's a lot of money on the line. You could put up $1 million. Mm-hmm. They'll take it seriously. It'll just be really fucking sweaty ranked. That's what it'll end up being. So I hate seeing this shit come up and people expecting it to be like, oh yeah, it'd be better than the Invitational, be better than a Pro League final. It's like, it'd be better Anarchy, sure.
You'd see some really wild
shit. You'd see some crazy ass shit, but it won't be like the World Cup of Hockey. It will be the World Cup of Hockey because no one gave a shit about the World Cup of Hockey. But it won't be like the FIFA or the World Cup for soccer.
World Cup for FIFA where literally it's the biggest spectacle of the entire year.
It ain't going to be that.
And people that don't even watch soccer are like, fuck yeah! So
fuck man. It's a cool idea. It just won't be comp Siege. So keep that in mind.
I don't know. I believe this was the last men's World Cup. I can't remember what our goalie's name was, but he had like 7 to 10 saves in a game, which for soccer is a lot. And so they changed his Wikipedia page to the Secretary of Defense. And it stayed for a week. It's the fucking greatest thing. It's hilarious because like the good thing that comes out of stuff like that is there is so much like country pride. We're just like, fuck everybody, we're Canada or we're America or we're Great Britain or whatever, and everyone is just so excited for their team. Rainbow doesn't have that. We don't have, everyone in the world that is just in awe by this spectacle that is Siege. We have a lot of players. We have 45 million players, which is a ridiculous number. But you compare that to soccer, where 45 million people watch it in the state of Uganda.
Yeah. Moving on, though. Because this is the topic that I skipped over in your other batch of questions.
Uganda even have a population of 45 million?
I don't know. I don't know anything about Uganda.
I don't know anything about Uganda either. You just picked out of the stack.
What do you think of the whole Yardy drip situation regarding his racist comments and what this means for him and his team? Let's dive into this, shall we, Samuel?
God damn it.
So he just posted this big long apology on the Pro League subreddit. I'm gonna err on the side of caution with going in too hard, but I will say I don't think Yardy is... I don't think he's actively like a racist. I don't think he actually hates black people. I don't think he is like that. The problem is I've only been given evidence of a very seemingly unremorseful dickhead on Twitter and a guy who dropped an N-bomb repeatedly and it got clipped and got put on YouTube and Twitter and shit. So I don't know the guy. I've literally never talked to him before in my life. I've never exchanged a single fucking word with him. and I'm given this evidence. This is what I've seen. Mm-hmm. I've seen 2 apologies, one twit longer and one giant ass Reddit post. Fuck, man. I get it, but that's also never going to leave your reputation.
No.
No matter what you do, it's going to stay there forever. Am I advocating for that to be right or wrong? Neither. That's just what the public will see.
Oh, always.
And I'll also say this. You guys might think that'll stop them from getting picked up by an org.
It's not.
It won't.
Nope.
It won't. There's too much money to be made. And all morals go out the window when it becomes to business.
Yep.
There's going to be a lot of money being made. Even if they're only around for this season, even if they get fucking auto-relegated, there's the fucking pilot program. There's prize winnings. They're going to the Allied minor. There's a lot to be had here. A lot of advertising to be done. The Rainbow Six Pro League is a huge thing in terms of advertisement just for your brand. So I don't think it's actually going to stop them from getting picked up by an org. I think it'll hurt their chances with as many orgs as they would like. I think there will be some who won't be able to turn a blind eye towards it. Mm-hmm. But there will also be other orgs out there who say, yeah, fuck it, dude. Yeah. We want money.
Yeah, I mean, there's already rumors culminating, and we're like, I'm not going to touch with a 10-foot pole what orgs I'm going to pick up, because I obviously don't want that to come back. So, but yeah, there's already rumors culminating on what's going to happen with 92 Dream Team and who's going to be picking them up. So yeah, they're definitely going to be getting an org. So anyone that thought that wasn't going to happen because Yardy's just a fucking terrible person and a racist, well, here's one thing. Controversy builds viewership. Case in point, hold on, just 2 seconds. Case in point, there's only one female player that's ever been a pro player inside of Rainbow Six Siege, and that is Goddess. And guess what happens when Goddess plays on any broadcast? And this includes CL. It gets the most viewership and the most hate. Every single time. All because she doesn't have a penis. That's legitimately it.
Well, here's the difference. You got a guy who dropped an N-bomb multiple times, and then you've got a woman.
Oh, no.
Very different circumstances.
I understand, but what I'm saying is controversy will always build viewership. It always will. I mean, take Donald Trump, for instance. We're not getting political. We're not going to talk about it. But if you go look at one of this man's tweets, it has the most replies to literally anything. This man can be like, I hope all of you guys have a good Mother's Day. And they're like, yeah, well, fuck your mother. Like, just instantly. Like, that's just, you know what I mean? Like,
that's
it's just,
the internet.
Yeah, that's the internet. But I'm just saying controversy builds viewership.
My thing with Yardy is you said it, man. And no amount of apologies is ever going to change that.
Nope.
Nothing you ever say, changing your name isn't going to fix it. Guess what, dude? You're like, this is your persona now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Get used to it because it's not going to change overnight. This was a year and a half ago, and this is still a thing.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing that
it's not going anywhere.
No.
And honestly, I don't think it should. I think people who pull this kind of shit should be dragged for it.
Yeah. Oh,
and yeah, guess what, man? You're a dumb kid who made a mistake. We've all said some heinous shit on the internet before.
Oh, absolutely.
We've all said some heinous shit on the internet
Don't
before.
go back to my Halo 3 days.
So
dude.
I understand that, yeah, you were a dumb kid, you made a mistake, and this is going to follow you. You're in the public eye.
Yeah.
You're in the public eye now. You knew you were in the public eye back then. Yep. And it's going to follow you. And it's not going to stop. Yeah. It's not going to stop. You can do as much fucking outreach as you want. You can apologize as much as you want. Will the apologies help sway the decisions and opinions of a few? Yes. Will they ultimately erase your past? No.
No.
And that's kind of the point that I think everyone should kind of remember, is that this isn't going to go anywhere. You don't need to keep bringing it up. Everyone knows it's okay.
That's going to be Twitch chat the entire time.
Well, yeah. I mean, dude, the entire Twitch chat spams hard R Yardy.
Yep. Hard Yardy.
Guess what, man? That's the world you live in. Yeah. So as far as will it impact them getting picked up by an org? Maybe for 1 or 2 orgs, but they'll get picked up. As far as, do I think he's a shitty person? No. I think he was an idiot who said a really shitty thing, who should be punished for what he said. Mm-hmm. I think the punishment fits the crime at this point. I think it's going on a little long, but it's also never going to go away because people aren't going to forget about this.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I don't empathize because guess what, dude? You fucked up. You made the mistake, and now you got to pay for it, right? Like it's not like this was a victimless crime or anything. Like there's people affected by that shit every single day, and you were compiling onto it. It's gonna go on.
Yeah. So there's a couple of things that I want to touch on before we move on.
Yeah.
Number one, I think this is a lesson for everyone to look at and go, okay, no matter what room you're in, no matter where you are, anything is clippable on the internet.
Yep.
Anything. Doesn't matter if you think your friends, foes, whatever. You know what I mean? Even if you try and go a little bit under, I would say, or basically on the same level with the bundle of sticks or whatever, you have to be aware of your surroundings at all times. And sometimes your friends aren't your friends, and that's exactly what happened. I mean, not with the whole N-word clip, but I mean, there's a clip of, Yard saying the bundle of sticks, and that was like a year ago. You know what I mean? And it just proves the fact that, sometimes your friends aren't your friends. Anybody can clip anything and have it just lying in wait until the day that they just want to expose you and ruin your life. So just be smart. Be aware of your surroundings. If you ever think that you're going to be in the public eye, then just be intelligent, Another thing, I've known Yard for a long time. I used to cast him on Xbox when he moved over to Xbox, and they ended up winning the GEL League with Legion Gaming. And, he had a stigma around him even then, which was a long time ago. That was all the way back in 2017. You know what I mean? And it was the same thing. I mean, the entire Xbox community yelling about how Yardy's racist and all because of this same clip, and it's followed him all the way up until this point. The only thing I would say about that is, I've coached Yardy's team. I coached 92 Dream Team for a short while. I've coached I've worked with them before. I've played with Yard. Everything. Yardy might, rage about things. He's actually worked on it quite well. A lot of the clips I've seen from, their scrims and stuff like that. It starts off yelly, but usually they try and work things out and work on things, which is good. You know what I mean? You want to make those adjustments. I would say, he's a very young kid. He's 18 years old. Everyone was doing fucking something stupid at 18. And that clip of him saying anything was at the age of 6. I'm not saying give him a free pass because, you always have a brain on your shoulders. You have to think through things. You have to realize where your environment is. And also you got to realize that word was used to fucking keep people down for a very, very long time. And it's just fucking stupid. Even the fact that anybody says it nowadays, I don't give a shit, rap music, whatever, it's stupid. If you want a word to go away, you don't say it. That's just how it works. You know what I mean? Just because, people feel like they get a free pass for saying that's fucking dumb. You know what I mean? If you want something to go away and you want something to change, then just stop. It's pointless. All it does is just create more controversy, and then it creates stuff like this. So, anyways, that's besides the point. Again, congratulations to 92 Dream Team. They did fantastic. They really came into their own with what we talked about earlier with their aggressive play style, and just more or less focusing on that and continuing to build upon what their good base was instead of trying to change up their entire persona. So. Worked out really, really well for them. What's up, Chimney?
Yes, everyone complained about the vape noises, so I walked to the other room to vape.
The last time they could hear you piss, so I'm going to guess that they probably heard that, but very minor this time, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Anyways, last point I made is that...
I heard it.
Okay,
I heard it
all right.
It's a history that's going to follow them. Yeah. I'm going to leave it at that. How many hours in Siege do each of you have? I don't know the number. Probably upwards of 4,000.
I'm right around that number as well. With my main account on Steam, I have 1,400 hours. And then I have my Smurf accounts. So that'll put me at 1,700 hours on PC. And then if I go with Xbox, I'm probably right around 2,000. So I'm at 3,700.
Yeah, I just pulled up my Steam accounts. 2,477 on my main on Steam. I've probably got another 1,000 on my Uplay accounts.
What about your PS4 account?
Probably 1,500. So it's like 5,000 hours. Honestly, it's a lot of time. I don't like to think about it. How much time I spend on this fucking game.
Well, you know what they say. You haven't truly mastered something until you have 10,000 hours on it.
I read that book. It was good. Outliers was really good. I did a whole report on it.
That's a fucking great book. You've read that book?
Yep.
Fantastic.
Everyone should read Outliers.
Yeah,
it's great.
Amazing.
Do you think Leon will get picked up by another team? Went over that. Android or iOS? I've always had an iPhone.
iOS.
Nailed it. I will also say, Uzumaki, you decided to reply to that and say, let the racist thing go, man. No, you don't let that go.
No.
You don't let that go.
It's never going to go away. You can't defend that. And here's the thing, Chris, again, because Chris, you're starting to become more into the public eye as you continue to cast things.
You're saying some dumb shit, brother.
Yeah, you need to take a step back and realize that when you try and push these things off, it also comes back on you. Like, okay, so you condone racism. Like that's legitimately what's going to be said. I'm not saying that obviously I think that Chris condones racism, because that's completely false. But that's what the extremists are always going to do. That's always what's going to happen, is they go to the absolute extreme and go, Uzumaki enjoys racism. Like, that's...
Well, I mean, I've had my history of saying some dumb shit on Twitter, and that won't ever end. I will always say dumb shit on Twitter. But a while back, actually, when... what's their faces? I can't even remember their names now. Some dudes got banned by ESL, and I knew them, and I didn't think they were actually cheating. And they said to me up and down that they weren't cheating, that it was, it was an unrightful ban. So I went to Twitter and started defending them. Came out a week later that they were actually hacking, and they lied to my face. So I got a lot of backlash, and a lot of people kept that reputation with me for a while, that I was defending hackers. Yep. And if you've heard me rip on Shaiko before, you know that's not the case. So, no matter what you say, there's always going to be eyes on it when you're in the public scene. And this was when I was still very small. This was before I did DreamHack Montreal. I was still very unknown. And... there's going to be people who always attach a lens to it. I mean, that's the same thing with Yardy, and obviously a very different circumstance there. But whatever you say, whatever you say will always be captured by a very large audience, and there will be a large majority of them that want to paint you in a certain light based off the words you say, even if that's not what you intended.
Yeah.
So, cool it, I guess, is my best advice. Next up, and I kind of like this question because this will help a lot of people with who want to get into casting, and we get these questions all the fucking time.
Oh my god, yes, I saw this one.
When it comes to ESL Community Caster application, should one have a decent number of VODs built up, or is it something you should feel more comfortable just applying for even before they've necessarily built up a large catalog? Basically, what would you guys say the recommended standards for someone thinking about applying for Community Caster status? In my experience, Community Caster status took a while to get.
It's changed a lot.
It has changed a lot. They're much more open now. And once I finally did get my application in, it was not difficult at all. It took a day. So nowadays, you don't really need to try all that hard. Just drop a VOD. As long as it's a recent VOD.
You can literally just record yourself, literally get OBS, screen record over a VOD of just straight gameplay of just a spectator cam, or just literally mute a Pro League broadcast and cast over it.
Yep.
And they literally go, oh, this guy can kind of cast, and that's legitimately it. You guys don't need, you don't need the full PC, per se, to get things going. You literally just need to be able to talk and know decently what you are talking about. That's it.
Yeah,
and not even decently. It's Community Caster is literally just there to practice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Community Caster is not difficult to acquire at this point. So you don't need a catalog. You literally just need one VOD.
Yeah.
At least from when my application went through.
I didn't even have a VOD. I literally was like, hi, I'm stoked. I cast with Sternab. And then Sternab sent me 2 clips of me casting. I attached it, and that was it.
Yeah. So
done.
Clips work. I would do a whole VOD, but just literally get whatever you think is your best VOD and send it in. And yeah, Community Caster is a good place to start. Definitely look for other leagues though. As well, because they'll get you
ESA,
more regular.
Is IEG still a thing?
They got absorbed by ESA.
Okay.
I mean, CCS might be looking for new people.
Because I'm not casting anymore.
Me neither.
Yeah.
So
also, I think there was a comment on me not casting.
It's further down, but yes.
Okay. I'll get it.
Yeah, we'll get to it later. Yeah, try and find some other amateur leagues as well that are looking. I mean, I just got fucking DM'd the other day by some random amateur league that I've never heard of before asking me to cast for them, and I said, haha, no.
Yeah, we don't cast for free anymore, guys.
No. Give me money or no. Hi, thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
GMM or GTFO, dude. I need that. I'm putting that in my bio on Twitter. GMM or GTFO.
So there's definitely people out there looking. So it's not hard to get Community Caster. Just grab a VOD and send it in. Yeah, it's not hard. You don't have to be afraid of applying.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. Do not start casting. I know this is something that they say inside of all things for esports and just passion things. Do it because you have the passion for it. Don't do it because you want the money from it. Like Flynn didn't.
True.
I didn't start casting. Flynn didn't start casting. Parker didn't start casting. None of these people started casting because they wanted money from it. I started casting because I thought it was fun and I liked shoutcasting moments over my friends' clips because I just thought it was badass. Like you get to take a paintbrush to somebody's canvas and make it something really fucking cool. So
yeah, so I guess this is also some advice for any potential casters out there who want to get into it and stuff. Don't go in with the intention of making money. If it happens, cool. Yeah, because it probably won't for a while. I got lucky with being able to make money very, very, very early on, but that won't happen for basically any of you. There's more and more opportunities as time goes on and the scene gets bigger, but still, don't expect that. And also don't go in looking for the clout. That's another thing that I see a lot is casters going in looking for the clout because they don't have a name anywhere else. And they're like, I can cast and get a name. Like, don't do that either, man. I didn't want that. I just wanted to fuck around and cast. Like,
it's just fun, man. It's so much fun.
I casted a fucking lacrosse state championship for Chase. And they were like, yo, you're actually like good at this. You should do this for Siege. And I was like, fuck it. Why not? Like, it's not about the clout. It's not about the money. Go in because you like broadcasting. Don't go in for any other ulterior motive because you will find very quickly that you lose the passion for it extremely quick because things won't go as fast and you won't make as much money as you thought you would. And if you don't have the passion for it, you will burn out real quick. And second of all, like, it's evident when people go in for those ulterior motives.
Yep.
Very, very evident. We do see what's going on. Okay? Like, we're not blind.
Yeah.
And the public isn't blind either. And it will deteriorate your quality of casting if you're going in looking for a name or money versus going in for the love of broadcasting.
And if anything there is to bring away from the Yardy situation, don't stroke your own ego. Think about what you post on Twitter. Everything. Like, if
go
like,
clear out your
like,
Twitter before you start too.
Just think thoughts before you do shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I have some spelling errors and stuff sometimes on my Twitter, or I phrase things wrong because usually I tweet when I'm dead ass tired or just woke up, and then I go back and read it. I'm like, oh, I'm a fucking idiot. You know what I mean? But you gotta think before you tweet, think before you do anything. And that's just in life in general because, you know, job opportunities, everything that pop up, they're going to go through your shit. Like, that's what's going to happen. So from that aspect, I mean, just do it for the fun, man. Like, trust me, if you actually enjoy broadcasting, it is so much fucking fun to just, especially when you get to do it like Flynn and I are good friends. Like, being able to like go and cast like Milan, like that's why I'm excited for it, is because I get to cast with Flynn and I know we're gonna have a good fucking time and we're gonna make some cool clips. Because that's all I ever care about is like, how many fucking cool things could I do inside of this broadcast? That's what was so much fun about USN. And I mean, actually, what's funny is the thing that got me into just casting in general was not only like casting my friends' clips, but when we used to play like Call of Duty and do search and destroy and stuff, you know how back in the day it required you to be in game chat for S&D?
Search,
yeah, I used to cast over my friends for my friends that were dead that were playing, and everyone just thought it was fucking hilarious. And that's originally what got me into like just doing this stuff because it was just a fucking fun time. And then, you know, this came around and my friends were like, hey, can you look over our scrims for us and like do a recording and tell us what we're doing wrong? I'm like, okay. And I was like, oh, why don't I cast this? And that's literally one of the top clips to this day is a clip from Xbox, and it's of like Spaz and just like this team from French Canada that was playing. So that was my first ever cast on Rainbow Six Siege, and it was like a 3 or 4K on Canal.
I miss Canal. I can't wait
for the rework. I miss Canal too, dude.
I can't wait for the rework.
Oh, man.
Next question, also along the same kind of lines. It's a two-parter. Number one, since I'm currently casting on PS4, what would you consider more important? Try moving to PC casting or increase the quality of my PS4 streams?
PC.
There's a better market for yourself on PC, and I know I just went on a diatribe about not going in for the clout, but at the end of the day, it is a business, but don't go in looking for the business, I guess is the easiest progression, I would say, is go in for the love, improve your base, and then start marketing. Don't go in marketing immediately. But PC will get you better visibility, better options for pay as well. Console leagues won't pay. There's no money in console leagues.
Nope.
There's no advertising. There's no possibility for lands and stuff like that unless they're like self-run, which, hey man, if someone's got money to dump into that, then go for it.
Well, here's the thing, and I think that I know you're going to agree with me on this. Rainbow Six Siege is not intended to play on a console. in the fucking slightest. Like, it just, the playstyle comparison, just in general of just performance, is just stupid. Like, on consoles, you're locked at 60 FOV. You can't see shit. Everything, like, especially, did you ever go back and play console after you played your PC?
Yeah.
It's
not fun.
Yeah, not fun in the slightest. Like, I see Xbox clips every once in a while that pop up on my timeline, and I'm like, this is fucking garbage.
Yep.
Like, you can't see a thing. The aim is terrible. Just, I mean, it's just bad. So, PC, you have to be in the right market to make anything happen. And that's really just the end of that conversation.
Yeah, I definitely prioritize PC over upgrading quality for a PS4 stream.
Other thing, for anybody that's listens to us that's on console and is looking to get a PC, do not get an i7 processor. Do not.
Why?
It's proven that i7 processors for Rainbow Six Siege perform terribly, and a high-end i5 will actually perform better than any i7.
Okay, but an i7 will do much better than an i5 in every other department.
Yeah, but here's the issue. You get lower FPS on an i7 of any range than a high-end i5. It's legit. Like, I literally just watched the video like a couple days ago. It's I don't know what it is about the i7. I don't know if it's a certain algorithm that they run on the i7s compared to the i5s or any of their other i-series. Like, my i9 at home murders Rainbow Six. Kills it. So, like, I'm getting like 320 frames on high-end settings.
Yeah.
So, you know, but you take an i7, like my i7 7700K that's in Esther's computer. When I played on that, I'm struggling to get 150 frames. Because,
well, I mean, I have an i7 8700 in this, and I have an i7 6700K back home, and I still get upwards of 200 frames. So,
I'll show you the video after. I'm just saying, like,
all right.
Like, they literally
I think
did
that's
an entire
very
test
poor
with,
advice. Also, to base your entire PC purchase off of one game,
I mean, I did.
because an i7 would destroy an i5 in any realm.
All right, Flynn. You want to take that argument?
Yeah.
You ready for you to trump you right now?
Sure.
What other game do you play, motherfucker?
I do video work. I do photography editing. I do actual productivity work.
You just play Rainbow Six, though.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying. Like, there's some other people that just play Rainbow Six.
How many games do you play?
A lot. I play Rainbow. I play Rocket League. I play... what was I playing last
So how
night?
much more beneficial would it be for you to get an i7 over an i5 for all those other games you play?
I just got a high-end i5.
Oh, an i7 would murder for barely more money.
I just get a better graphics card.
It costs more money.
Fuck you.
You're an idiot.
Eat a dick.
You're an idiot. Anyway.
Yeah, and you smell like fucking shrimp, idiot.
In the last podcast, I think I remember Sam mentioning he won't be doing CL casting. What will you be doing? Okay, I don't know why you're asking me this then. What will Sam be doing instead? Just streaming, ?
I'm going to be casting USN.
Yeah.
So, I know that, like, the original thing that they put out was, like, just stage 1, but
there's 3 more.
Yeah, I'm booked out for the whole thing. So, I mean, like, I've said already multiple times, I'm going to be here till my contract's through November. I've already told all of you guys that it's public knowledge. So, I mean, monkey math really fast. I'm going to be here for all the stages. So, you know what I mean? I'm going to be casting USN. I don't have time nor do I want to stay up another night during the week in order to cast the absolute fucking fiasco that is NACL.
Well, also understand that NACL starts at 2 a.m. for us.
Exactly.
So that just is not feasible to
That would be 2 nights in a row of me staying up and starting at 2 a.m. Because I cast Tuesday, Thursday, or I might be doing that or whatever. I might be casting Thursdays or whatever. Yeah. But I don't know. We obviously we don't have the entire...
It's on Friday.
Yeah. So if I cast Thursday, then I'd also cast Friday at 2 a.m. and I'd want to legitimately just eat a barrel of a gun. So let's not do that. And besides that point, I mean, you guys saw what happened this season. Like, I literally cast in 2 weeks because I had so much other shit going on where I actually made money. So, I'm like, money. There we go.
Next question. What do you see in the future for Secret and Rise? Do you see the teams trying to stay together or everyone splintering off for themselves?
Rise is disbanding, 100%.
Rise might disband. Honestly... Although, I mean...
Secret will stick 3/5. Other end of that question, but...
The thing with me is Rise's contract is nice. Like, they're making good money. So, if...
God, I wish that we could still talk about that shit.
Anyways. Yeah. I mean, if they just stuck, like, even if Hyper leaves... Even if Crazy leaves,
I mean,
if they can keep 3/5.
Somebody. There's gunners inside of CL.
Exactly.
You can pick up someone.
It's a good paycheck for right now to stay. It makes more monetary sense to stay in CL because, let's be honest, the rest of the players on that team probably aren't getting offers.
England's definitely not getting an offer. England was not playing up to snuff.
I mean, they had a bad season, and it's hard to market yourself after a season like that and be like, hey, replace someone on your team with me, even though your team finished above us. Smile. Like, that's a hard conversation to go in. Like, you're negotiating from such a position of weakness. It's almost more valuable just to stay in
It's
CL.
more advantageous to
if they can keep 3/5, then I imagine Rise actually sticks it out for CL.
Yeah, I think the org will stick with them as well because of the new money influx.
Yeah. And for Secret, I mean, same kind of conversation. Like, Leon's probably going to get an offer. Fonkers might get an offer. But are Meepy and Alems, are they getting offers?
No.
Maybe same thing for them. And again, the org's sticking. The org said they would stick with them in Challenger League. So
they want that spot, man. And honestly, that roster at a base level is something you can definitely build off of. I mean, we already talked about it.
They were a damn good team a season ago.
Yeah, with Secret as the org, you know they're getting a good paycheck. If Leon leaves to go somewhere else, you can definitely convince one of the high-end CL players to come over to Team fucking Secret.
Yeah.
Like, that is a T1 org. They make bank. So, that's all I'm saying.
Do you see any of the new Pro League teams actually holding their own, or do you see them staying near the bottom? I think we kind of already went over that with our whole relegation talk.
Yeah.
92 will be probably the weaker of the two. Sonics, they'll get their games, but probably won't be contending for a number one spot.
No.
LATAM, Team 1, I mean, fuck, they look good in this Allied minor run, but that's also just a day where they could all be fucking hot. They have a lot to do to prove themselves. And then M&M, I mean, EU is so fucking competitive that it's hard to be the new team coming into EU and being like, hey, yeah, you know, we'll kick some ass. Smile. Vitality might be a different case, though. Vitality, if they make a roster change, they might actually start dumpstering some teams. So Vitality will be one to watch, but the rest, I think, are requiring work to be competitive, or at least contending for like a top half spot. What will both of you be up to after Milan? Will you be involved in the major, season finals, and the Invitational again? We don't get our contracts this far out.
I fucking wish.
I wish. I would love to know if I'm working the major or the Pro League finals or SI.
Instead we have to sit here and clench our butt cheeks and go, okay, because they don't let us know until at least a month before. So,
if not closer.
Yeah.
So we don't get offers that far out, man. So we have no idea.
Yeah, as in like the minor, where no one knows if they're doing the minor or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
We're still very in the dark on that. We already talked about Yardy.
Hard Yardy. Oh, by the way, one more thing I'll put on Yardy. Yard, change your name back, homie. Like, just do it. Like, everyone calls you Yard anyways. Drip is not even in anyone's realm of thinking. When they look at that name, they go, Drip, Yardy. Like, that's it. Just go back to Yardy. Even if you want to cut it down to Yard, dude. Just cut it down to Yard or whatever you want to do. But just keep it as Yardy. You gotta own it. You have to walk it.
The name change didn't really do much.
Like, I'm not trying to say that you're running from anything, because I understand, like, you did your public apology and all that stuff, and you're like, you know what? Because you know what his name's based off of?
No.
Backyardigans, the TV show. I wouldn't want my name like, oh yeah, it's a kid's TV show. You know what I mean? But I mean, buddy, that's what you're known as. So you might as well just keep it. That would be like Stewie 2K going, hey, my name is now Aquafina. Like, no, that's Stewie 2K. You know?
Okay, this is a long one. Let me see if I can fucking...
Pengu is now Dolphin. Anyways, continue.
Predictions for who wins the Vegas Minor / top 4 for the event. And then he gives his own predictions.
What was his predictions?
SSG second, apparently. Team Liquid first.
That's a bold claim.
Did they even get invited? What are the invited teams? Hold on, let me pull this up real quick.
Liquipedia.
Yep. Always.
By the way, shout out once again to CHGG and Liquipedia for basically powering this podcast. They did get invited,
okay, yeah.
Rise is invited.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting.
Huh.
Okay.
Team Secret's invited too.
Yep.
Huh.
Okay. He said SSG second, Liquid first, Nip either third or fourth, and Penta either third or
Dude,
fourth.
I want to cast this because this is such a clusterfuck. This is going to be so much fun.
Such a weird group of teams.
Right? Like, oh man, that's going to be such a good weekend. Especially in Vegas, dude. When you're like, after the casting, just go get really fucked up. It's going to be great.
Yeah, as far as Vegas, I mean, it's so fucking wide open because it's an international event with a lot of teams that haven't played internationally. Mm-hmm. Like, you got teams that have never been to a fucking DreamHack here, man.
Yeah, like 92. Like, you might have 92 versus, like, NIP.
Yeah, like...
Penta.
Dude,
or Vitality.
I don't fucking know, man.
Like, that's what makes this so interesting, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah,
like,
I don't...
And to add on to that, we still have 3 teams to come out. So you could have, like... Oh, man, you could have anything.
Yeah, it's...
We've seen really good teams get knocked out before. Which, you know what? Actually, this might be very, very good for DZ because they're going to have back-to-back lands. Within 2 weeks of each other. 3 weeks of each other.
They'll be in Milan and then they'll be in Vegas.
That's good.
Yep. As like, dude, you got a lot of teams here that have never played internationally and never played against these teams before.
That's gonna be so interesting, man. Oh man.
It's
we're gonna see Mo in the Disrupt stack, Yeti and all them. That's gonna be fun. Oh, Evil Waffle's gonna be back on a stage, dude. That's gonna be crazy. Whew. I don't know. That's unpredictable. There's so much unpredictability inside of this. Like, I don't even want to take... this is throwing darts at a wall. That's what that is.
Yeah, and there's no bracket either because it's a fucking...
Yeah, so I don't even know...
Swiss system.
Yeah. And here's the thing, again, about predictions of stuff. I want to stand for a minute. My knee's hurting. Here's the thing, again, about, like, predictions and things along those lines with Rainbow Six. We don't know what maps they're playing. So, you know, there's a lot of the times where you can predict this stuff just off maps. You're like, oh, okay, definitely this team's favored on this map. They lost the ban phase. You know what I mean? So, I don't really know.
Yeah, and it's a Swiss system that we've never utilized for an actual tournament before. We've used it for CL and major, like, online qualifiers.
Oh, the LAN is going to be on a Swiss system?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so, dude, I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know.
Fucking hell.
Like, you're going to have to play 5 games on the first day. And... I mean, you could get, like, Dark Zero against Vitality.
Maybe I don't want to cast this.
Like, you're going to get, like, Dark Zero against Vitality. You're going to get, like, Nip against fucking
Dude, this
Rogue.
Is gonna be
like,
fucking
92 against
crazy.
Team 1. Like,
this is going to be batshit crazy, dude.
You're going to get DG against whoever the fuck wins the APAC bracket.
I'll say this.
What?
I'll say this. The good thing about a Swiss system is everybody plays everybody. So when you lose, you're not exactly out yet.
Like, this is...
Oh, man, this is going to be fucking wild, dude.
Yeah, that's so impossible to predict.
Holy
you have
shit.
no idea. And the winner goes to the major, by the way. Oh, and I guess we should talk about it as we round things out. The major is going to be in Raleigh, North Carolina. That announcement came out. So, yeah.
East Coast, Best Coast.
Yeah, so Raleigh, that's going to be the major. I will be there no matter what.
I will be there no matter what as well.
Even if I'm not working it, I'll be there.
I'm not working.
I bought a VIP ticket just to be sure.
I didn't. I'll just kiss Stuart. It's fine.
Yeah, so majors in Raleigh. We got Milan. We got Vegas. We got DreamHack Valencia as well, which will also be a minor spot or a minor for a major spot. Mm-hmm. Next few months are looking pretty good, but that's going to end it. We kind of touched on everything in the Q&A and touched on everything around the world for the last week.
Yep. So. Hashtag B-Leaguers. Hashtag bring Flynn back.
Okay. Again, that's not how budgets work.
You
can't just scream and more money shows up.
No, that's fine. Hashtag bring Flynn back.
Whatever. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget that we are sponsored by the Koya Store. Head to thekoyastore.com to pick up all your officially licensed Ubisoft paraphernalia for Rainbow Six Siege. Head to thekoyastore.com/BLeaguers and use our promo code, all caps, BLeaguers for 5% off your order. Helps you. It helps us. It helps the entire fucking world. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next week.